It began as a smudge on the horizon, a shape that did not belong. On the 4th of December in 1872, the crew of the British brigantine Dei Gratia sailed through the cold, choppy waters of the Atlantic, midway between the Azores and the coast of Portugal. They were seasoned sailors, accustomed to the vast emptiness of the ocean, but this sight was unusual. The vessel ahead of them, a two-masted brigantine like their own, was moving erratically, its sails set in a strange and inefficient manner, as if guided by an inexpert hand. It yawed in the wind, drifting aimlessly, a lonely silhouette against the gray sky, clearly a ship in some form of distress. The captain of the Dei Gratia, David Morehouse. He knew this ship. He recognized her lines and rigging. It was the Mary Celeste, an American vessel that had departed from New York just a week before his own ship. He had dined with her captain, Benjamin Briggs, a respected and capable mariner. To see his friend's ship in such a state was deeply troubling. He ordered his men to hail her, their calls echoing across the waves, but only the cry of gulls and the sigh of the wind answered back. No figures appeared on deck. No response came from the helm. Deciding to investigate, Captain Morehouse sent his first mate, Oliver DeVoe, and two other sailors across in a small boat. As they rowed closer, the silence of the Mary Celeste grew more profound, more ominous. The ship seemed intact, with no obvious signs of catastrophic damage that would explain its abandonment. When they pulled alongside the hull, the quiet was absolute. They called out again, their voices sounding small and frail against the immense backdrop of the sea. There was no reply. With a shared look of grim determination, the men secured a rope and prepared to climb aboard, stepping from their world of order into a scene of profound and lasting mystery. With cautious steps, they pulled themselves onto the deck of the silent vessel. What they found was not a scene of chaos, but one of eerie, suspended normalcy. The ship was wet, with over a meter of water sloshing in the hold. But this was not an unusual amount for a wooden ship of its size, and was easily manageable with the pumps. The sails were partly set, but some were torn, suggesting a recent struggle with the weather. Yet below deck, the crew's quarters were tidy. Personal belongings lay undisturbed. A meal of meat, bread, and coffee sat on the table in the captain's cabin, seemingly left in the middle of being eaten, as if the diners had been called away for just a moment. The people, however, were gone. To understand the mystery, we must first understand the journey. The ship's logbook, found by the Dei Gratia boarding party, provided a partial record. Entries were routine. The final entry, 8 a.m., November 25th, 9 days before discovery. It placed the Mary Celeste near Santa Maria, Azores. The entry was perfectly normal, no mention of any trouble, no hint of panic, no sign anything was amiss. After that calm entry, the narrative ends. The next 9 days are blank. When Dei Gratia found the ship, they noted the chronometer missing the sextant, missing navigation papers, missing the lone lifeboat missing. This suggests they did not abandon in blind panic, but with some degree of planning. They took essential navigation tools and the only means of escape. The question that echoes through history is why would a skilled captain and crew abandon a perfectly sound vessel in the middle of the ocean? The scene that greeted the salvage crew was a tableau of interrupted life frozen in time. The ship was not in disarray. No signs of a violent struggle, no bloodstains on the deck, no broken furniture below. In the galley, pots and pans were neatly stowed. In the crew's quarters, sea chests contained clothing and personal effects pipes and tobacco. It appeared as if the crew had simply stepped away intending to return. As news of the ghost ship spread, speculation ran rampant, and the most immediate and sensational theories involved foul play. The idea of pirates storming the vessel was an early favorite, painting a grim picture of a violent takeover on the high seas. The primary argument against the piracy theory is the state of the cargo and the personal belongings left behind. Furthermore, there were no signs of a fight. A related theory proposed that the crime came not from the outside, but from within. A mutiny. With theories of human violence proving unsatisfactory, investigators and historians turned their attention to the ship's cargo. The 1,701 barrels of denatured alcohol were not a benign shipment. They were, in effect, a floating bomb. If some of the barrels were to leak, the alcohol could vaporize, filling the sealed cargo hold with a highly flammable and explosive mixture of air and fumes. This might have resulted in a sudden, loud release of pressure, a powerful whoosh of vapor blowing the main hatch cover off its supports. Faced with this alarming sound and the pungent smell of alcohol fumes, Captain Briggs would have found himself in an impossible situation. His first and only priority would have been the safety of his family. The logical course of action would be to order everyone into the lifeboat to put some distance between themselves and the ship, waiting for the perceived danger to pass. They may have even tied a line to the Mary Celeste, intending to row back once the ship had aired out and was deemed safe. A sudden squall could have snapped the tow line. Strong currents could have carried the lifeboat away. Adrift in the vast ocean with limited supplies, their fate was sealed. While the alcohol explosion theory is compelling, other explanations focus on the raw and unpredictable power of the ocean itself. Each natural theory offers a trigger, yet conflicts with some evidence. For more than 150 years, the story of the Mary Celeste has been told and retold, evolving from a maritime news item into a modern myth. Even in its destruction, the ship seemed to court controversy and mystery. The enduring power of the mystery lies in its perfect ambiguity. There is just enough evidence to fuel endless speculation, but not enough to prove any single theory. Each clue is a piece of a puzzle with a missing centerpiece. Do we see a story of human greed and violence, a cautionary tale of industrial dangers, a humbling reminder of the overwhelming power of the natural world? The story resonates because it touches upon a fundamental human fear, the fear of the unknown and of sudden, unexplained disappearance. The crew of the Mary Celeste did not simply die, they vanished. Captain Briggs, his family, his crew, remains one of the greatest unsolved maritime mysteries in history. They sailed into a riddle and were never seen again, but the truth remains just out of reach, lost somewhere in the cold, gray waters of the Atlantic in the winter of 1872. What do you believe happened on that lonely ship? Follow for more stories that explore the mysteries that history has left behind.